Hello, basketball fans, and welcome to the Red Zone here at Hicksville High School as we are getting ready for boys varsity basketball action on the second day of 2020. Now, some would say it's second day of a new decade. Others would say that doesn't start till 2021. We're not going to get into that argument. Doesn't matter. We haven't had a chance to speak to you before, so we're going to take this opportunity to wish you a Happy New Year. Glad to have you with us. We're ready to get things started for boys basketball action in the Green Meadows Conference part of the season as the Tony Tier coached Aces of Hicksville are going to be hosting the Ayersville Pilots, coached by Dave Retcher with assistance from Logan Wolfram. Aces went 1-2 at home over the holiday break. They lost the opening round game to Edgerton in the Holiday Classic on the Route 49, but won the consolation game. And we'll get ready for our starting lineups here tonight for the visiting Pilots of Ayersville. They will start number 0, Jake Trevino, a 5'10 sophomore. Number 1 is Ryan Clark, a 6'3 junior. Number 10, Braden Amorosa. Braden, a 5'11 junior. Also getting the start for the Pilots tonight, number 33, Callan Brown, 6'4" and a junior. And number 50 is 6'3" junior, Evan Clark. For the Aces tonight, their starting 5 will be number 1, Travian Tunis, the 6' senior. Number 2, 5'7" sophomore, Josh Myers. Number 5 is 6'6" sophomore, Jackson Bergman. Also starting tonight, number 10, that's 6' senior, Jake Miller. And number 22 is 6' 2" junior, Landon Turnbull. Aces coming into the game tonight are 6-2 overall. They have a 3-1 record here on their home floor. And, there haven't been any official. They played GMC teams so far, but this is the first official league matchup for the 2019-20 season. So their league record going into tonight, 0-0, and they want to make it 1-0. I'm Bill Murphy with Hicksville Community Television. Brian Williams alongside, helping with the stats, and Chris Warner behind the camera. We're glad to have you here with us tonight. Again, we hope you had a happy new year, great holiday, and that things haven't been too rough for you settling back down into the regular routine. It's going to be Bergman jumping center with Clark. Tip controlled by the Pilots. Shot up from the wing, no good. Battling for the rebound, ball rolling around on the floor, kicked out of there. And eventually there's going to be a whistle. And an early foul. It's going to go against the Pilots. And that's going to be against number 50, Evan Clark. So Clark picks up a quick personal. Team foul number 1. And we're underway. Myers will bring the ball up. Takes it across the timeline, being guarded by Trevino. To Tunis. Tunis driving in. Hesitation shot, no good. Clark grabs the board. Quickly down the floor. They'll kick it back out. Nobody there. Clark gets it, and that's going to be over and back. No change of possession. So the over and back call will turn it over to the Aces. Only 40 seconds in, no score. Myers to Turnbull at the top of the key. He'll hand it off to Tunis. And that'll be to Miller and back to Turnbull. Turnbull drives in, loses the dribble, loose on the floor. Pilots get it out of there. That was stripped away by number 33, Callan Brown. And it's Amorosa now. Down in the corner to Trevino. Trevino puts up the fadeaway jumper, no good. Turnbull skies it for the board. Gets it down quickly to Tunis. Tunis goes to the hoop and travels. Took the extra step there and turns it over. Trevino bringing the ball up, guarded by Miller. He'll get it down to Brown. Ball bouncing around. Brown to Amorosa to Trevino. Turn around, put up, and that is good by Clark. I should mention there are two Clarks. That's Ryan Clark. Ryan is number 1, and Evan Clark is number 50. Shot up and no good. And that was Amorosa. He'll work in. Pull-up jumper is going to be short. And saved, but to the wrong team by Turnbull. That one is good. It'll be a long 2 for Callan Brown. 4-0 Pilots. Bergman kicks it back out to Miller. Miller gets it under control. Now to Tunis. Tunis to Turnbull. Turnbull. Little bit of a shake and bake move. Puts it up. No good. Gets his own rebound. His fadeaway no good. Bergman goes for the board. Gets it into the hands of Miller. Back out to Tunis. Tunis down to Miller all alone, and he misses the bunny shot. And it'll come the other way with Amorosa for the Pilots. Amorosa gets it to Trevino. He'll launch it on the side to Brown. Brown pulls up, and that's good from just inside the three-point line. Callan Brown makes it a 6-0 game, and Tony Tier has seen enough. He's calling a timeout. Quick 30-second, and this is the problem that the Aces had in the first game that they played at the Route 49 Classic. They were just ice cold from the field. Got some good shots, but just could not get anything to go down the cylinder. So we'll see what happens here after this quick 30-second timeout. It'll be Aces ball on the baseline. 4:48 to go here in our opening quarter. Myers to Tunis to Bergman. Bergman down low. Turnbull not able to make anything happen there. Bergman, though, comes up with the ball to Tunis. Tunis to Miller. Miller spin moves. He's in the tall timber. Gets it to Bergman. Bergman loses it, though, and it'll be a foul. They're going to call that one on Ryan Clark. That'll be Clark's first and team foul number 2 for the Pilots. Bergman tries to muscle it up, and he'll be fouled, and that'll be another quick one on Ryan Clark. So just like that, Ryan Clark, 2 personal fouls, and Jackson Bergman at the line to shoot 2. Bergman, yes, gets it to drop, and the Aces get on the board. Number 20 in, that's Trevor Oakley. Bergman gets them both. Oakley in for the Pilots, obviously. Trevino, bounce pass to Amoroso. To Oakley. Oakley gets the ball taken away, but the Pilots hang on to it. Brown down into the corner. Trevino for 3. No good. Put back. No good. They're still battling for it. And Miller comes up with the ball for the Aces. Now Tunis quickly down to Bergman. Bergman, nothing there. To Turnbull. Turnbull driving in, gets it to Miller. Miller hands it off to Myers. Myers to Bergman. And back to Turnbull. Turnbull takes it in. Landon puts it up and good. So 6-4 now as the Aces have woke up and started getting their shooting a little bit better from the floor. Omarosa down low to Clark. Clark bounce pass along the baseline, knocked out of bounds by Tunis. It'll stay with the Pilots. That was Evan Clark with that pass. Though I don't believe Ryan is out on the floor right now with those 2 personal fouls. So, yep. So if you hear me saying Clark now, I'm just referring to Evan and not Ryan. And Turnbull picks up his first. And that is team foul number 1 for the Aces. Pilots ball on the side. Omarosa gets it in to Oakley. Oakley to Omarosa. And now to Trevino. Trevino back to Omarosa. To Brown. Inside to Clark. And back to Trevino. Oakley from the free throw line is good. 8-4 now. Aces find themselves back down by 4. Myers. Back to Turnbull to Bergman. Bergman to Tunis. And Tunis to Turnbull as they work the wheel. Turnbull down low to Bergman. Bergman up and good. 6-8. As again the Aces close the gap to 2. Trevino to Omarosa. Back to Trevino for 3. No good. Tunis with the rebound. Travian will bring the ball up and hand it off to Myers. Myers gets it across the timeline. Bounce pass to Bergman. To Tunis. Back to Myers. Myers for 3, and that one's good. Myers puts the Aces on top for the first time, 9-8. Clark shot no good. Put back by Oakley, no good. Myers, believe it or not, got the rebound, got it into the hands of Travian Tunis. Tunis to Turnbull. Landon scoops it off to Miller. Miller loses it. Still battling. And it's going to be a jump ball. Into the game for the Pilots, number 11. That is Logan Schlachter. Tunis with the ball to Bergman for the Aces. Turnbull in the corner. Drives into the paint. Turnbull shot up and good. Turnbull makes it 11-8. And here comes Trevino to Omarosa. Back to Trevino. To Brown on the wing. Brown drives in. He'll pull up. Shot is good. Callan Brown with his sixth point of the night. As we are under 30 seconds. Turnbull with 24. Lucas Calhoun getting ready to check in for the Pilots. Turnbull being guarded by Brown. 12 seconds. Hands it to Tunis with 9. Tunis back to Turnbull. Powers it down low. Tunis picks it up off the floor. Tries to get it up. No call. And the whistle blows. And that is the end of the first quarter with the Aces leading the Pilots, but not by much. 11-10 after 1. Glad to have you with us. And again, we want to take some time here between quarters to say a big thank you To our basketball broadcast underwriters, the Jim Schmidt family of automotive dealerships in Hicksville, Ohio. Jim Schmidt Chevrolet Buick, Jim Schmidt Ford, and the Jim Schmidt Truck Lot. Reminding you, winter weather is on its way and those cold weather driving months are ahead. So if you have not yet got your car winterized, it's a great time to do it. You also need to get the oil changed, get that tune-up taken care of. The service departments at Jim Schmidt Chevrolet Buick and Jim Schmidt Ford are standing by to help you out. They can take care of anything from basic maintenance to major repair. Find out more online. You can also check out the complete dealer inventory online at jimschmidtauto.com. So proud to have them as our basketball broadcast underwriters for this season. The Jim Schmidt family of automotive dealerships in Hicksville, Ohio. Jim Schmidt Chevrolet Buick, Jim Schmidt Ford, and online at jimschmidtauto.com. Well, we have a new player on the floor, and I'm going to have to make some notations here because that is number 3, Ike Iden, off the JV squad. And also out there, number 2, as I mentioned, Lucas Calhoun. Trevino to Iden. Iden gets it back to Trevino. They try to pitch it inside to Schlachter. It's off of Schlachter's hands and out of bounds. So Aces will get the ball back. 7:46 to go in this half. Myers across the timeline. Also into the game now, Brody Balzer, number 3 for the Aces, and a push off away from the ball. And that'll be on number 20, Trevor Oakley. So Oakley gets his first personal and team foul number 4 for the Pilots. Inbounds to Balzer quickly to Tunis, and then back to Turnbull. Turnbull down in the corner to Tunis. Craven takes it back out top of the key. Turnbull for 3 from the corner. Long carom out. Comes up in the hands of Trevino. Trevino loses it out of bounds. Nope, but gets it back in bounds. But it's loose on the floor. It's going all over the place. And we're going to have a foul, and I think it's going to be on Balzer. Nope, it's going to be an over and back call on the Pilots. Okay, we'll take that. Kind of hard to follow with all the things going on, but evidently the Pilots never lost possession of the ball, so it went across the timeline and they picked it up. It was the over and back call. Myers inside, and so work it around. Turnbull, bounce pass down to Tunis. Back to Turnbull. Logan top of the key, bounce passes over to Myers, down to Travian Tunis in the corner, and Tunis will bring it back out. As again, the Aces will work their wheel offense. Inside to Turnbull, kicks it back out to Balzer, back out to Myers for three-point land, no good. Rebound comes down to Oakley. He'll toss it over Trevino, and Trevino will take it across the timeline. Down to Calhoun. Calhoun into the corner to Trevino. Across to Iden. Ike Iden puts up the shot and hits it. Pilots now on top, 12-11. Balzer with the ball for the Aces to Myers at the top of the key. Over on the wing to Tunis. Tunis to Bergman. And back to Myers. Inside, Turnbull off the glass, no good. Balzer grabs the board, gets it to Myers, quickly back to Turnbull, and back to Bergman. And they'll get it back out to Myers and set things again. Inside, Bergman all alone, puts it up and good. Nice shot from Jackson Bergman. That'll be now the Aces on top, 13-12 as we're going back and forth. Mason Slattery and Jake Miller getting ready to check back in for Hicksville. Trevino inside, shot up and good by Oakley. 4 points now for Trevor Oakley. And that makes the Pilots the leaders now, 14-13. Bounce pass inside Turnbull. Turnbull takes it strong up, rolls off the iron, no good. Oakley grabs the rebound and winds up getting it to, well, first to Calhoun and then to Trevino. 4:38 to go in the half. Trevino bounce pass to Iden. Iden looking for some help, gets it to Calhoun, back to Trevino down on the wing. Trevino tries to go around Bergman, and it's going to be blocked out of bounds by Turnbull. Slattery and Miller come back in for Bergman and Balzer, and also back into the game number 33, Callan Brown for the Pilots. Oakley gets it to Calhoun. Calhoun, top of the key, looking things over, guarded by Myers. To Trevino on the wing. Trevino loose on the floor, gets it out of there. Down low, that's Oakley, puts it up, no good. Rebound being volleyballed around, and we're going to have a whistle. And it's going to be against the Pilots, and that's going to be the first one on Callan Brown. Team foul number 5 on the Pilots. With exactly 4 minutes, exactly halfway through the second quarter. Josh Myers with the ball. Across the timeline. To Turnbull, back to Myers, and now to Tunis. Down low, and Slattery wasn't paying attention, and it goes right behind him and out the doors and into the commons area. Brought back, and so the Aces turn it over. Trevino, guarded by Miller, gets it to Calhoun. Calhoun back to Trevino on the wing. Down into the corner, that's Iden. And they'll pull it back out. Back to Calhoun, guarded by Turnbull. And now he runs into Tunis. Iden thinking about it, nothing there. He'll kick it back out. Shot is up, off the iron and no good. And it looks like Trevino might have picked it up, as he might have fouled Turnbull going for the rebound, and that is the case. So Jake Trevino gets his first personal, team foul number 6. So next foul committed by the Pilots puts the Aces in the bonus for the remainder of the half. And we'll have a brief stoppage while somebody ties their shoes. He should be like you, Chris, and just wear the Velcro ties. Turnbull brings it up. Gets it to Myers. Myers. Over to Turnbull. Miller. Nice move, up and in. Jake Miller with a nice layup. Makes it 15-14 Aces. Amorosa back into the game for the Pilots now. Getting a breather on the bench. Amorosa notches it over to Brown. Brown looks things over, nothing there. He'll kick it back out to Calhoun. Long shot over to Iden. Iden's for 3 in the corner is good. 5 points now for Ike Iden. And it's 17-15, a 2-point lead now for the Pilots. Landon Turnbull to Tunis on the wing. Tunis down the corner. Myers for 3, and that's a little bit too long. Brown grabs the rebound, and will come the Pilots. Iden to Brown. Brown kicks it back out to Calhoun. He runs in, and he gets taken away by Miller. Nice steal from Jake Miller. Turnbull. Bounce passes, and Myers breaks the wrong way, and they throw it out of bounds and turn it back over. Coach Tony Tier with a little editorial input for his team. Not liking that a couple times people haven't been paying attention and the ball has sailed past them out of bounds. So 122, Omarosa for the Pilots. So to Iden. Iden guarded by Myers. Gets it away to Calhoun. Calhoun, Miller is fronting him. Calhoun takes it in, bounce pass over to Brown, puts it up and good for 2 more. Calvin Brown, another long 2, and that's 8 points for him, and it's 19-15. Now the Pilots up by 4. Under a minute to go. Inside to Turnbull. Turnbull goes strong to the hoop, doesn't get the roll, but he will go to the line. That's going to be on number 50, Evan Clark, back into the game and promptly picking up another personal foul. Number 11, Schlachter for the Pilots, looking like he might trek back in before the half is done. Turnbull hits the first one. 5 points now for Landon. And they'll bring Evan Clark right back out after he picks up his second personal foul. Schlachter in for him. Turnbull's second. Off the iron, no good. Bergman grabs the board. Bergman kicks it back out to Turnbull. Turnbull back to Miller now. Miller bounce passes it to Jackson. Bergman goes in and he's going to draw the foul. And that one's going to be on Calhoun. Calhoun, team foul number 8. So Bergman at the line. I'm not sure whether they said it was a 2-shot foul. They're going to say this is a 1-and-1. So Bergman hits the front end. He'll get the bonus. 17-19 now. Jackson looks to make it a 1-point game, and he does. 8 points for Bergman. 19-18, 38.5 seconds. Pilots take it across the timeline with 32. Calhoun looking for some help. Flips it over to Iden. Nothing there. Iden will take it back out. Guarded by Myers. Iden tosses it over to Omarosa. Omarosa puts it up, and it's rejected by Bergman. Myers grabs it and gets it to Turnbull. Turnbull behind the back dribble. Kicks it back out to Tunis. Travels. Oh, my goodness. Coach Tony Tier turning a new shade of red on the sideline. Balzer's going to come in for Myers. 9.2 seconds. It'll be Pilots ball on the side. Calhoun gets it into Iden, guarded by Miller. Iden behind the back dribble as he takes it across the timeline with 3, 2, 1. Puts it up, no good. And that will be halftime. Woo, what a game, as it is neck and neck. We've reached the midway point at the intermission. It's the Pilots leading the Aces at halftime of this varsity boys basketball game, 19-18. We're going to take a break here at halftime, but we invite you to stay tuned. Brian, Chris, and I will be back, and we will have all the exciting second half play-by-play coming your way right here on HIX-TV. Welcome back to the Red Zone. If you're just joining us, it is halftime of the boys varsity game here tonight on this second day of January. And at the half, it is a razor-thin margin as the Ayersville Pilots barely leading the Aces. Only a single point differentiates the two. 19-18, Pilots with the lead. Checking the unofficial scoring in the first half for the Aces, they were led in scoring by Jackson Bergman. Jackson had a couple of field goals and 4 free throws for 8 points. Right behind him, Landon Turnbull. Turnbull with a couple of buckets and a free throw for 5. 3 points from Josh Myers off a 3-point shot, and a bucket and 2 for Jacob Miller. For the Pilots, their leading scorer also with 8 points, and that's Callan Brown. Brown had 4 field goals for 8 points. After that, 5 points for Ike Iden coming off the bench. Iden with a 3 and a deuce for 5. 4 points for Trevor Oakley with a couple of field goals, and a bucket and 2 for Ryan Clark. And that just about wraps it up for the scoring. So far, the Aces in good shape foul-wise. Not a lot of infractions committed by the Aces in the first half. For the Pilots, Ryan Clark and Evan Clark both have 2 personal fouls each. So sound the horn. Here we go.
Logan Neihart with Ohio Dominican University and Garrett Kroll. Please stand up, guys.
There's recognition for Garrett Kroll and Logan Neihart. Garrett, I don't know if you can catch him across the way. Camera person standing up. Big, tall guy. Yeah. So, again, our camera guy not paying attention. So, Logan Neihart down here on our side. Garrett Kroll, both here. Garrett was in the Arizona Bowl, and Neihart was with Ohio at their bowl. So, yeah, kind of neat seeing a couple of alumni playing in major college bowl games. We're back in action. Aces with the ball. Myers to Turnbull. Turnbull puts it up, count it, and he's going to go to the line. Turnbull gets the hoop and draws the foul. Let's see who they pin that one on. That'll be the 3rd on Evan Clark. So Turnbull looking to put in, and he does complete the 3-point play. Pilots on offense now. Brown over to Omarosa. Omarosa hands it off to Trevino. Guarded by Turnbull. Trevino back to Omarosa on the wing. Omarosa down low, puts it up, no good, and the rebound comes down to Travian Tunis. Shot by Ryan Clark was no good. Tunis to Turnbull. Turnbull down in the corner. Myers, bounce pass. And Miller puts it up off glass and good. Jake Miller and timeout on the floor. So the Pilots find themselves going from a 1-point lead to being down by 4. So they'll call a quick 30-second timeout. Now it's kind of neat seeing Garrett Kroll here. I actually watched that game, so I got to see him. He's at Wyoming University, the Cowboys, and they were winners in the Arizona Bowl. Garrett, defensive back, and he actually twisted his ankle and he went down, so he got his name mentioned. It was and they got to see his little picture on the national television broadcast. It was pretty cool. Omarosa gets the ball into Trevino as we're back in action. Trevino bounce pass to Omarosa on the wing. Back to Trevino, top of the key. And he'll kind of get a little bit of a chest bop from Travian Tunis, and that'll be Travian's first personal foul. Team foul number 1 for the Aces. And the Pilots need to get somebody over there. If they don't want the ball, Brown launches it into Evan Clark. Clark gets it to Trevino. To Omarosa. And an offensive foul as Omarosa throws the elbow a little bit and turns it back over to the Aces. And that'll be Braden Omarosa's first and team foul number 2 of the second half. Josh Myers brings the ball across the timeline. This is set up their offense. Tunis inside to Turnbull. Turnbull strong to the hoop, good. 10 points now for Landon Turnbull tonight. Bounce pass, Amorosa. Guarded by Tunis. High dribble, but he gets it back. Flips it over to Trevino. Trevino runs into the paint. Tries to feed it off to Ryan Clark. Clark gets it to Brown. Brown off the rim, no good. And right into the hands of Myers. Myers gets it down to Turnbull. Turnbull strong to the hoop, no. And it's Amorosa the other way. Trying to take it coast to coast. Puts it up and gets a friendly bounce. Blake will make that Braden Amorosa with his first points of the night. Makes it a 25-21 game. Aces. Hicksville up by 4. Miller bounces it to Myers at the top of the key. Calhoun ready to check back in for the Pilots. Bergman back to Myers. For 3, Tunis, in and out, no good. And a scrum underneath the hoop, and it'll be jump ball. Possession arrow, give the ball to the Pilots. Oakley and Calhoun back into the game for Brown and Ryan Clark. Bounce pass, Amorosa. Down to Trevino, back to Amorosa on the wing. Guarded by Tunis. And throws it out of bounds. Calhoun misses the pass, and the Aces get the turnover. With 4:51 left in the third quarter, Josh Myers brings it across the timeline. Myers down low to Turnbull. Turnbull puts it up and doesn't quite get the touch. Other way, Amorosa loses it as he tries to go up. Miller on the other. Miller down into the corner. Gets it out of there to Myers. Turnbull for 3. Boom! Landon Turnbull dials up long distance and makes it a 28-21 game. Calhoun down into the corner. That's Trevino. Back to Calhoun. The other way down to Amorosa. Goes baseline, puts it up. No good. Tunis grabs the board. Tunis launches it down. Turnbull manages to get a hand on it and gets it under control. Bergman for 3, in and out, no good. Miller with the putback, off the glass, no good. And now Bergman gets it taken away by Oakley. Oakley to Amorosa, pulls up, his shot, no good. Ball bouncing around, Miller quickly to Turnbull. Turnbull 4-on-1, and he gets it knocked away from behind and out of bounds. Calhoun got the ball loose, but none of the 4 Pilots surrounding Turnbull could get a hold of the ball before it goes out of bounds. Tunis will have a seat and catch his breath, and Mason Slattery back into the game for the Aces. Turnbull will get ready to handle the inbounds chore. Gets it into Miller. Quickly to Myers at the top of the key. Myers bounce passes it inside to Miller. Down low to Slattery. Up off the glass, no good. Slattery gets it out of there to Bergman. Myers now for 3. No, Bergman with the putback, and that's good. Bergman gets himself into double figures now. Trevino to Calhoun on the wing. Calhoun looking for something, goes into the paint, puts up the jumper, no good. Miller grabs the rebound and tosses it over to Myers. And Myers will slow things down just a little bit. Josh Myers to Jake Miller. Miller down to Slattery inside to Turnbull, who puts it up off glass, no good. Bergman with the putback, no good. Bergman with the putback again, no good. Kicks it out of there, Myers grabs it. Gets it back to Bergman. Bergman, Turnbull for three, no good. And Oakley grabs the rebound, and finally, the Pilots get the ball back. Ike Iden back into the game. Long shot from Trevino is no good. And Turnbull will bring the ball back up. Getting ready to check back in, number 33, Callan Brown for the Pilots. And also number 11, Schlachter. Slattery to Myers. The Aces work their offense. Guarded by Ike Iden. Now to Slattery down in the corner. Slattery looking. Bounce pass. And a timeout by Coach Tony Tier. It's a full timeout. So 1 minute. They'll be talking things over. That's the second timeout the Aces have taken in the game. They'll have 3 remaining. The Pilots still have 4. 30-21, the Aces with the 9-point lead here. 2 team fouls for the Pilots, 1 for the Aces. So actually, there's been a lot of rocket and socket, and they've been moving the ball up and down the floor, but playing pretty clean basketball. Not a lot of whistles here in the game so far. Again, the Aces looking to improve their record to 7 wins and 2 losses tonight. They're 6-2, and they'd really like to get into the win column for the conference race as well and go up 1-0 or 1-0 in the Green Meadows Conference standings. Like I said, so far, the Aces have played both Edgerton and Fairview, but those were non-conference matchups, so they don't count towards the GMC league scores or league standings. They'll blow the whistle, and with 1:42 to go in the third quarter, the squads will come back out onto the floor. It'll be Aces ball down in the corner with Travian Tunis set to inbounds. Miller, Bergman, Turnbull, Myers, and Travian Tunis, the Aces on the floor. We've got Schlachter, Brown, Iden, Oakley, and Calhoun out on the floor for the Pilots. Tunis inbounds quickly to Slattery. Back to Tunis. To Bergman. Bergman. Jackson puts it up, no good. And he'll go over the back, and that'll be on Jackson, his first, as he'll foul Oakley. Or excuse me, Schlachter. Bergman's first personal. Team foul number 2. And Miller will come back into the game as Landon Turnbull will step out for a breather. Iden gets across the timeline, guarded by Miller. Bounce pass down to Brown. Brown gets it back out to Iden. Iden looking for some help, gets it to Calhoun, guarded by Tunis. Calhoun's going to go for the hoop. Puts it in, no good. Comes back out. Tunis gets the rebound. Travian quickly down the floor, and he's going to get tangled up. Ball's going to go down, and it's going to be a jump ball, and the possession arrow should give it to the Aces. So I'm not sure whether Travian tripped on his own feet or if he got tangled up with the defender, but not able to go strong to the hoop like he was hoping to. Tunis flips it into Bergman. Gets it right back to Travian. Tunis down low to Jackson. He puts it up and good. Assist Tunis as Jackson Bergman gets 2 more. 32-21 with under a minute to go in the third quarter. Loses the dribble, loose on the floor. Calhoun picks it up, and I think they're going to whistle Miller for that one. And they will. So Jake Miller will get his first personal foul. Team foul number 3 for the Aces with 34 seconds exactly. Calhoun will come out, and Trevino back into the game for the Pilots. Ike Iden will handle the inbounds chores on the far side. Iden gets it into Trevino, guarded by Miller. And Miller's going to pick up another quick foul. So Jake Miller gets his second personal foul in about 5 seconds. And that'll be team foul number 4. Iden gets the ball in. Trevino, guarded by Bergman. They'll move it around to Brown. Brown, pull-up jumper, and that's good. First points for Calvin Brown here in the second half. 32-23 Aces with 10 seconds to go in the quarter. Turnbull. Down in the corner, Myers back to Turnbull, who puts it up off glass, no good. That'll be the end of the third quarter. We've played 3, and it's the Aces leading the Pilots by 9, 32-23, as we get ready for the fourth quarter of action in the varsity game here tonight. And before we head into that fourth and final quarter again, it's time to say a big thank you to the Jim Schmidt family of automotive dealerships in Hicksville, Ohio. Jim Schmidt Chevrolet Buick, Jim Schmidt Ford, underwriting our Aces Sports broadcast for boys and girls basketball. From the junior high all the way through the varsity level, we want to thank them so very much and remind you that if you're in the market for a vehicle, whether you want one brand new or pre-owned, be it car, truck, van, or SUV, stop by, check out the great selection they have on the lots of the Jim Schmidt family of automotive dealerships. And if you don't see exactly what you're looking for, let them know what it is that you want it. They'll always do their very best to find you exactly the vehicle that you are looking for, because at Jim Schmidt, it's all about service before, during, and after the sale. You can also check out their complete dealer inventory and find out all the things happening at the dealerships online anytime at jimschmidtauto.com. We're so proud to have them as our basketball broadcast underwriters for the 2019-20 season. The Jim Schmidt family of automotive dealerships in Hicksville, Ohio. Jim Schmidt Chevrolet Buick, Jim Schmidt Ford, and online at jimschmidtauto.com. Now the Clark twins back out on the floor for this fourth quarter. Both Ryan and Evan. It'll be Pilots ball to start quarter number 4. Ike Iden looking to get the ball inbounds. He does to Trevino. Guarded by Miller. Trevino gets it to Brown on the wing. Back to Trevino, top of the key. Bounce pass inside. Clark, no good. Brown with the board. Gets it back to Trevino. Now to Iden. And back out to Trevino at the top of the key. Down. That's Brown. Brown will drive baseline. He'll put it up. No good. Gets the rebound back. Up and good for Callan Brown. 12 points now for him. 32-25. Landon Turnbull with the ball for the Aces. Over to Bergman. Bergman drives in, puts it up off glass. No good. Turnbull with the putback. Count it. Turnbull gets the board. And the Aces back up 34-25. Trevino. Working around the perimeter. That's going to be over and back. And they're going to have a conference. One of the officials say that it was touched. And it will be Aces ball. They were claiming that it shouldn't have been an over and back because a Hicksville player touched the ball. But evidently, none of the officials saw it that way. Myers with the ball now, 6:49 and clock rolling. Bergman to Tunis, top of the key. Tunis working around, guarded by Evan Clark. Gets it to Turnbull, guarded by Brown. Turnbull to Tunis. Tunis, three-point land, bang! Travian Tunis, almost an NBA three on that one. 37-25, Aces. Ike Iden, timeout, Ayersville. Ayersville bench needs to talk it over, as now it's a 12-point lead for the Aces as they have been red hot here in the second half. 12 points unofficially for Bergman as of right now. 14-15 I got for Turnbull. So Aces doing well, but they need to keep it up. They still have a lot of basketball game yet to play. They can't afford to let up here. Aces with 4 team fouls. The Pilots have committed only 2. Possession arrow right now favoring the Aces. Need to break those huddles up. Going a little longer than 30 seconds that time. And here we go. It'll be Pilots ball. And Ike Iden looks to get it inbounds. Iden gets it in to Trevino. Back to Iden. Over to Brown on the wing. Brown going to drive in. Pull-up jumper. No good. Iden gets the rebound as it caroms out a long ways. And now they'll get it to Trevino and reset their offense. Trevino being guarded by Miller. Back to Brown on the wing. Tunis trying to slap that ball out of there. Gets it over to Ryan Clark, and they feed it inside, and Evan Clark gets the bucket. That's Clark's first points of the night. Make it 37-27. Tunis in the wing, that's Miller. Miller down into the corner for Turnbull. Turnbull drives in, feeds it off to Bergman, and it'll be a push off. So Turnbull pushing off, and that'll be a foul, offensive foul on Landon Turnbull, his second. Team foul number 5, and the ball goes back to the Pilots. And evidently, nobody on the Aces side can understand why they could call that as a foul. Okay. Trevino feeds it down to Amorosa back into the game. Ryan Clark gets it to Brown. Brown driving in, pulls up, takes the shot. No good. Bergman grabs the rebound. Bergman gets it to Myers. 5 minutes to go in our contest. As Evan Clark looks ready to check back into the game. Oh, he is into the game. So it must be, well, I can't see who it is. It looked like it was one of the Clark guys, but they're both out on the floor. And that'll be a foul, and that's going to send Jake Miller to the line to shoot 2. Well, Oakley getting ready to check back in. And Evan Clark picks up his 4th personal foul. And that'll put Jake Miller at the line to shoot a couple. Miller hits the first one. 5 points now for Jake. And Ryan Clark will step out of the game, and Oakley in for him. Miller misses that one. Ball grabbed by Trevino. He gets it to Amorosa on the wing. Amorosa working his way towards the hoop, lays it up and in. Braden Amorosa gets points 3 and 4 with the shot. Landon Turnbull across the timeline with 4:22 to go in the game. Turnbull puts it up and misses. Trevino grabs the rebound, gets it down to Amorosa. Inside to Oakley, and Oakley's going to be fouled by Tunis. And that'll be team foul number 6. So the next Aces foul will put the Pilots into the bonus. Right now 4:07 left in regulation. So Jake Trevino looking to get the ball inbounds. He does. Clark drives baseline, bounce pass to Oakley. Oakley almost loses it. They get it out of there. Work it back around. Now Bryan down in the corner. And Jake Miller is going to get whistled for another foul. Yep. Miller will pick up his third. And that'll be 1 and 1 for Evan Clark, who just went flying into the padding when he was pushed off by. So whether that was, we won't see anything. Evan Clark hits the front end. Timeout, coached here. 38-30 for the Aces, and Hicksville wants to talk things over. A quick 30-second timeout. That'll be the third timeout used by the Aces. They have 2 left for the balance of the game. Aces still leading by 8, 38-30, and if Clark hits the next free throw he has, it'll be a 7-point differential. Evan Clark playing with 4 fouls. So the Aces will break huddle, and we'll get ready for the second free throw here. Clark hit the front end of the 1 and 1, so he gets the bonus. Clark misses the second one. Turnbull grabs the rebound, gets it to Tunis. Tunis across the timeline with 3:48 to go in the game. Bergman to Miller. Miller back to Turnbull. Turnbull to Bergman. To Tunis. And back to Turnbull again. Aces can take their time here, run some offense, burn a little time off the clock. Miller to Turnbull, back to Bergman. Bergman driving in, his jumper is no good. And Turnbull almost with the rebound, but it's snatched up by Evan Clark. He gets it to Trevino with 3:05. Trevino to Amorosa on the wing. Amorosa goes around Bergman, kicks it back to Brown. Brown, another pull-up jumper, no good. And Myers grabs the rebound for the Aces as we're under 3 minutes to go in the varsity game. Bounce pass to Turnbull. Turnbull driving into the hoop, puts it up, not quite. Brown grabs the board, and we'll come back the other way with the Pilots. Trevino across the timeline, guarded by Miller. Gets it to Brown on the wing. To Oakley. Oakley bounce pass over to Trevino. Now to Amorosa, who drives in. He'll pull up. Shot up, no good. And that board goes to Landon Turnbull. Turnbull with 2:15 to go in the game. Across the timeline. Pilots are in the bonus. Tunis to Miller. And Miller's going to be fouled by Amorosa. So that will be Braden Amorosa's second personal and team foul number 4 on the Pilots. Out of bounds to the Aces. Tunis launches it in to Turnbull. Turnbull quickly across the timeline. Down to Tunis. Tunis gets it to Myers and back to the top of the key, Tunis. Under 2 minutes to go now. And Bergman is going to get fouled. And that's going to be all for Mr. Evan Clark. So Evan Clark is going to foul out with 1:47 to go. And 3 points to his credit tonight. Schlachter back into the game for him. Miller gets the inbounds. Hands it off to Bergman. Jackson strong to the hoop. He's fouled. He'll go to the line. And that'll be Logan Schlachter picking up his first personal and team foul number 6 for the Pilots. And Jackson Bergman will be at the line to shoot 2. Aces up by 8. Make it 9. Iden back into the game, and Schlachter will have a seat. Calhoun back into the game for the Pilots as well. Bergman hits them both. 140. Here come the Pilots. Trevino to Iden. Iden to Amorosa down in the corner. Amorosa guarded by Myers. Takes it back out. Reverses court, tries to take it in. Goes up to the hoop, no good. Put back, and that's going to be a foul on Bergman. As Bergman goes up and drapes his hands across Amorosa. Or no, that was Trevino that took the foul. And that'll be Bergman's second and team foul number 8. First one, no good. Trevino was in the act of shooting, so he'll get another one. Iden will come out of the game, and back and into the game now will be the other Iden, Blake Iden. And that one also no good. Bergman grabs the rebound and gets it to Tunis. Tunis guarded by Blake Iden, and he'll be fouled, which I think might be part of the reason Iden was put into the game. Blake Iden gets team foul number 7. And Tunis will go to the line to shoot 1 and 1. A minute 16 left in the game, a 10-point lead for the Aces. They need to be able to hit their free throws here to lock this one down. Tunis, boom. Hits the free throw, and he'll get one more. Ryan Clark getting ready to check back into the game. He'll come in for Blake Iden. Iden's going to just stand by. I think they'll be putting him in on defense and gets them both. Here comes Trevino to Amorosa. Amorosa guarded by Tunis. Amorosa down low to Clark. It's partially deflected. Clark gets it and puts it up and in. Ryan Clark with the bucket and a timeout from the Ayersville Pilots. 57.9 at 2 seconds left in the game. 10-point lead for the Aces. Both teams in the bonus. So this last 57 seconds could maybe take a while. 2 timeouts remaining for both teams. And we'll see if we're going to have a foul parade or just what's going to happen here. Full 1 minute timeout for the Pilots. Well, when we wrap up the game here tonight, the boys will next be in action coming up on January 9th, which is 1 week from tonight, next Thursday. And we'll be back here at the Red Zone as they'll be entertaining the Holgate Tigers on that night. As for the Lady Aces, their next home matchup comes up on, well, not till January 14th, when the Lady Aces will host Fayette here at the Red Zone. So I think after we get done with this game tonight, we've got 6 more regular season games here at the Red Zone for both the boys teams and 6 for the girls team. So we've got about a dozen more basketball games that we'll be bringing you on the high school level before we go into tournament play. And we're going to see if we can work in a couple more junior high matchups too. Tunis gets the ball into Miller, and Miller is fouled almost right away. And I will see if that's going to be another one on number 5, Blake Iden. We've got a bit of a conference here, so we'll see just what exactly that whistle is going to wind up being. Both coaches. So it's going to be on number 5. his second, and I'm pretty sure that's the main reason he was brought in, to commit the fouls. That'll be team foul number 8 on the Pilots. But there must be something more to it. So, still waiting to see if they're going to. So we're not sure if it's going to be okay, it looks like it's going to be a technical. And they've picked Miller to take the technical shots. Not sure what caused that. And Jake misses it. So he'll get one more. No, he doesn't. 1 and 1. Okay. And now they're going to bring in Landon Turnbull. Turnbull will miss. And Turnbull gets the second one.
Second free throws. Technical foul for Ayersville, having 6 men on the floor.
So they had a technical foul for 6 men on the floor. So first they had, and we're getting another foul, and that's going to be on Calhoun.
Ayersville fouls on number 2.
Calhoun gets his second personal. That'll be team foul number 10. So from here on out, the Aces shoot 2. So anyway, that last interchange, Jake Miller was fouled. He shot the 1 and 1, missed the front end. And then there was a technical foul. Turnbull hits the first one because the Pilots had 6 men on the floor. So they picked Turnbull to shoot those, and he missed one and got the other one. So that was that. And then Landon Turnbull gets fouled again and gets 2 shots as a result because it's double bonus. So Turnbull hits both of those to make it 45-32. Pilots with the ball back. They are down by 13. Down into the corner. 3 from Trevino is going to be short. Turnbull grabs the board. Turnbull going to be fouled again. And that'll be another one on Calhoun, it looks like. Nope. It's going to be, yep. Calhoun gets his second. That's his third personal. Team foul number, well, it doesn't matter. It's double bonus. And not sure why the Pilots are still committing fouls at this point. They're down by 13. They're not going to win this game. Turnbull misses the first one. He'll get the second one. Brown comes back into the game, and Oakley comes out for the Pilots. Turnbull hits the second one. And the Aces can just sort of lay back. Amorosa down into the corner to Calhoun. Long shot over to Iden. Ike Iden puts it up, no good. Miller grabs the rebound with 22 seconds. Miller's going to get mugged with 20. Well, 19.5. And Trevino will pick up his second personal. And they'll send Miller to the line. And here come the younger players. Cook is coming back in, it looks like. Let's see who we've got here. We've got number 42, Cameron Cook. Number 5 is, of course, let me find it here. Blake Iden. Ike Iden is out there. Miller's shot, no good. Rebound comes down to the Pilots. Quickly down the floor. Cook across. Shot is up. No good. Schlachter tried to get the, and he's going to be fouled. Logan Schlachter is going to be fouled. I think that might be, let's see, I think Straub in there. Yep. Straub gets his first. Baird is into the game now, along with Hunter Betts and Boston Hootman. And Brody Balzer comes in. So up from the JV squad, some of the less experienced players finish out this game. Only 5.6 seconds left. Schlachter with a free throw. And the air ball, and that's that. He missed the rim, so 5.6 seconds. Aces basically have to inbounds the ball successfully. Inbounds to Baird, ball loose. And we're going to have a jump ball, and that should stay with the Aces with 1.8 seconds. Balzer gets it in to Betts. Betts will just hold it, and that'll be that. Your final score, Aces win the varsity matchup 46-32, the final score. And we'll do some quick additions here, and we'll get you some unofficial scoring just as quick as we can. And like I said, these will be unofficial. They'll only be as accurate as I can add on the fly here. So here we go. Let's start off with the Ayersville Pilots on the short end of the scoreboard tonight unofficially. They were led in scoring by Callan Brown, number 33. Brown with 8 points in the first half. He added 4 more in the second half to finish up with 12 points for the evening. After that, well, things sort of are slim pickings. Next in line was Ike Iden, who finished up with 5 points for the night. 4 points each for Ryan Clark, for Braden Amorosa, and for Trevor Oakley, and 3 points for Evan Clark, who fouled out with 1:47 left in the contest. On the Aces side of the coin, leading all scorers tonight and in double figures for the Aces, Landon Turnbull. Landon had 5 points in the first half, but he exploded in the second half and finishes up unofficially with 19 points for the game tonight. And not far behind him was Jackson Bergman. Jackson had 8 in the first half, and he added 6 more in the second half to finish the night with 14. After that, it was 5 points each for Jake Miller and for Travian Tunis. 3 points tonight for Josh Myers off of a 3-point field goal, and that tallies up all of the scoring for this evening. Again, the Aces winning 46-32. Now with the win, the Aces increased their record to 7-2 overall. Their home record is now 4-1, and they're 1-0 in the Green Meadows Conference. So a good start to the league season for the Aces here tonight. And as we mentioned, next up for Hicksville is another home game, which will be coming up in just a few days here. That will be on January the 9th, 1 week from today, as the Aces will host Holgate before they go on the road for a couple of games. And, of course, we'll be here and we'll have that action for you as well on HIX-TV. So with that, we're going to wrap it up again. A belated Happy New Year to everyone, and hope that you've gotten 2020 off to a great start. And we'll say some thank yous. First off, let's say a big thank you to the Upper Deck Band for providing some great musical entertainment here tonight. We also want to congratulate, again, Garrett Krall and Logan Neihart for having a great football season. A couple of Hicksville alums doing well, playing in some bowl games on the last couple of days and coming back to visit everybody. It was kind of neat having them here tonight. Thanks also to Mr. Overmeyer and Hopp, the co-athletic directors, and everyone at the Hicksville Athletic Department. To our basketball broadcast underwriters, the Jim Schmidt family of automotive dealerships here in Hicksville, Ohio. Most of all to you for tuning in and enjoying our coverage. Hope you had a good time watching this very good basketball game here from the Red Zone tonight. So with that, we're going to wrap it up. But we're only getting started for 2020 basketball coverage here on HIX-TV. Once again, final score here tonight in the varsity game, it was the Aces knocking off the Ayersville Pilots 46-32. And for Brian Williams doing the stats, and for Chris Warner behind the camera, I'm Bill Murphy with Hicksville Community Television wishing you good night and good sports.